So we experimented with different things for targets, and you can use lines or whatever you like. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Bubble wrap. We've used this movable object here, which is a little solid. But right now we're using these blue bins. They're stackable. They're cheap, readily available. So we've got one set over here. That's going to be our target when going to the left. And we've got a line that's 10 centimeters from where we've got it set up from. And then once Tony's in position, we slide these over to him. And the reason for having the movable is that chairs are different widths. So if we're going to move to one direction and the other, it's nice to be able to set them up first and then move away. So we start with the chair, and the other part of the setup here is you've got marks on the floor for 1.5, and 2 meters away from the wall. So starting Tony at the spotting is just nearby like before. And so the instruction is just, we'd like you to get your chair over as close as you can to these blue bins. Okay. So he took 4 steps to get there. It's something you can write down. You don't need to. And he stayed within 1.5 meters forward. So that would be pretty advanced technique. And then we just go back in the opposite direction. And we want to come within 10 centimeters of whatever the target happens to be. Very good. So let's keep you really close here. And do you know if you can sort of view down the slot here? And I'm sort of eliminating any space that Tony's got there. So he's right up against the barrier. It's like you might be in an elevator when you got jammed in with other people. And can you show us what happens when you start to do your turn? You can see as he turns, it doesn't matter which direction, the wheel is going to hit this barrier. You can see it moved it. And if it's an immovable barrier, like in an elevator, then that's a problem. So you'd have to take very small steps to get away. Or you could use the, what's the bunny hop. No, I couldn't think of that. You want to just try that, just coming this direction, Tony? You don't have to go very far, just enough to give yourself the freedom to then move in your usual way. And the mechanics of doing that are that you throw your body to the side you want to go. And then as you come upright, you move your hips over. So we're going to come back to this later during transfers, called the heads versus hips. So when your head moves in one direction, your hips move in the other direction. So want to try that again? Yeah, that's the idea. Now, if you have trouble with this skill, sometimes it helps to lock the brakes. These brakes may not go on very easily or not, and the reason for that is if you're holding onto the hand rim, when the weight comes off the rear wheels, instead of lifting the rear wheels, they will tend to your hands will come from the 1 o'clock position up to the 12 o'clock position. Someone to try it with the wheel locks on. That was pretty effective, wasn't it? Yeah. Can you try rocking back and forth and see what happens there? This can sometimes be helpful in getting away from something as well, although there's a bit of a tendency to move forwards as well as to the side. Are there any questions about that?
Could you start the bunny hop again, please?
Say it again.
They want to see the bunny hop again.
Oh, yeah. Can you do the bunny hop again? Okay. It's described in the manual as well. Now, can we bring you forward here a little bit, Tony? I'm going to get you to, this is just a another training variation here. Just a little further forward there. Maybe out to the side a bit. So you can set this up as we'll move you out this way a bit more. So if we set this up like a parallel parking situation, if you're trying to get into position just like you would do parallel parking of a car. So if we want to get you back into that space, Tony, maybe you should demonstrate doing that. Talk about parallel parking, it always freaks people out, of course. So if you could line up your chair here, Tony, just to sort of demonstrate that there isn't enough space to get through. If you just face forward, see there isn't quite enough space there without knocking them over. Now, are you familiar with the bolster trick? Okay, maybe I can demonstrate. The trick here is to put one set of wheels through at a time. So I prefer usually going backwards. So I'll kind of go through here. Get that one done. And then through another direction. And you can do that in the wheelie position as well. Okay. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. So these are just variations on the sideways maneuvering skill that you might want to get people involved with.